So greetings everyone and welcome to the 5th session of the Path of Purification. Before we open the session, let's just step back into a few moments silence. So welcome everyone to the next session. And our facilitator today is Dr. Yogesh Mohan, who was trained as a doctor at one of our big hospitals in Pondicherry, JIPMA, and he is now the founder of Consciousness as Medicine. He's obviously a healer, and he holds many healing workshops with NAMAH, mainly online, and they've been very beneficial for many people. He's trained in modern medicine, but he has a profound understanding of yogic psychology and a rich clinical experience using consciousness as therapy. He brings more than 20 years of inner work to this particular session, and he's based in Chennai. And incidentally, he's CEO of a medical college and hospital in Chennai called Savitha Medical College and Hospital. The subject of his session tonight is consciousness and purification of the being. So looking forward to that, and I'm sure you all are too. So over to you, Yogesh.
Namaste. And thank you, James. So as we move into the session, a small request to all the friends joining online. Can you keep your videos on so that we are able to see each other, and also we connect in a deeper way. So as we wait for other friends to switch on their videos, it would be nice to hear from you. If there's anything specific you would like me to touch upon or share or experience in this particular session, so we can accordingly design this session. Please feel free to share to participate, because that really helps each one of us to make the session much more meaningful. A monologue in front of the computer screen, does not help anyone. So it'll be nice to hear from you. Yes, Mr. Anil. Mr. Anil Grover, you can unmute yourself and you can speak.
Yeah. Can you repeat the question?
Is there anything you would like me to discuss or share in this particular session?
No, I would like to first.
You're looking forward to.
I would like to tune in and receive, and as it goes, then see what comes to me in terms of asking a question.
Okay, Ms. Shashwati. You can unmute Ms. Shashwati.
I have one question. You can hear me, sir?
Yeah, sure.
That yesterday's session, we have learned one thing, that each moment and each moment has to be consecrated. I want to know that elaborate this matter.
Okay. That each moment
And each moment.
and each movement should be consecrated, right? It's a very beautiful and a profound statement. And we can look upon this particular session, this time, here and now, and make an inner attempt to consecrate this particular session to the Supreme, and every interaction we have during this session, whether it is of expression or whether it is of receiving. So both the movements of expression and receptivity we offer to the divine. So what does it mean in a pragmatic sense? Normally, whenever we communicate with someone else, we speak with someone else, there is a certain state of consciousness in which we are. The words we speak, behind the words, that idea that is expressed, comes from a certain state of consciousness. Normally speaking, in our outer lives, almost entirety of our actions, including the speech, communication, if you were to observe very carefully, very discreetly, you would realize that almost 100% of our actions, our speech comes from the superficial being, the outer ego. We act and we react predominantly from the outer being. The source, the idea comes from the superficial, the mind or the vital. And since we normally live in the outer being, it is only natural that we act, react, talk, speak, communicate only from that state of consciousness. And even if ever there is a higher inspiration, a deeper touch, mostly it is clothed in the outer surface. So if we are genuinely interested in transforming the outer self, the outer being, which is made up of the body, the mind, the vital. That can only happen when the outer being is in a larger communion with the inner being, with the innermost being, or with higher states of consciousness. Because when we are talking of purification, the path of purification, we are mostly looking at the purification of the outer being. Because the psychic being, the soul, by its nature are pure and divine. And if I may, by a leap of faith, even say that the physical matter is also essentially pure and divine, left to itself. The mixture which comes is from the mind and the white. So any form of sadhana, any form of yoga, essentially would help and contribute towards an increasing receptivity of the outer being to the purer and much vaster ranges of consciousness within us and around us. So one of the very first places where we may begin is with I, myself. With the whole idea of who am I? What do I truly believe? Who am I? What do I identify myself as? And this is a very profound question, which has a meaning only if it comes from you within. It actually has no meaning if somebody else asks you that question. When this question comes from deep within your being and becomes the sole preoccupation of your being, where you truly want to know, discover, realize who you are in essence. And with the power, the intensity, the fire of the question slowly dissolves this outer veil of ignorance and opens the inner doors of self-discovery. For it is very evident that I am not just this social image which the people recognize me as a professional, a doctor, a father, a husband, a friend. I am not just that. I am surely not just this physical body. I am surely not just this bundle of thoughts and beliefs and emotions. There must be something which is much, much more than what I can see on the surface. And what I am is not so separate from other human beings. In fact, I am made so much similar to every other human being. The same physical body, the mechanism, the physiology, anatomy, chemistry, the similar functioning of the mind, of the vital, the same desires, the same ego, the same vital movements. So who I am is very much similar to who everyone else is. And I am not so separate from it. I share a lot of mental space with others. I share a lot of vital space with everyone else around. And I am not so limited just by the skin of my body. So when this inner call becomes real, genuine, and overwhelming, then slowly the inner truths start unveiling themselves to you. You start discovering more and more layers of your being. Start appreciating influences from various levels of consciousness. And slowly this obscurity, this outer veil of ignorance become more and more porous. The sense of I widens and enlarges. And very subtly, naturally, you start becoming aware of a living presence within you. Now, this presence becomes more and more concrete, more and more real. And slowly you begin to identify yourself with this presence and not the surface being. You begin to experience a strange sense of peace, joy in life. Just begin to love your own self. Just to be alone, doing nothing, and just to feel and experience this joy, this vastness, this peace. So, in the beginning, you will perceive as if they are two worlds, two different worlds, the outer and the inner. The outer, in which everything seems to be a struggle, difficulty, problems, where all the misunderstandings happen, where you are driven by greed, by ambition, by jealousy. And slowly you begin to realize that all these things are driving you against your inner soul. Slowly you realize that much of your action outside is coming from the old patterns, the old habits. But somewhere you are detached from them. You don't feel a part of it completely. It's as if somebody else is doing all that. And after some time, when the inner being's much more real for you, when you start living in the depths of your being, At that stage, slowly, the outer actions to begin to change. The way you look at things, the way you look at life, the way you look at your own future begins to change. And at times, when the inner connection is still intact, at such time, even the outer action begins to change. Your speech, your talk, your action. There is an entry of a beautiful element in the action, a sense of joy, in the action. And yet, the more you discover the inner being, you will also discover many darknesses which are still not transformed, which come to the surface from time to time, testing you, challenging you, and perhaps waiting for the light to get transformed. And you will also experience the presence of the divine around you. And many a times the only thing you have to say is, "Oh God, here am I. I offer this movement to thee." I offer this thought to thee. I offer her this problem. And when you do this consecration, offering in sheer sincerity, you will see and experience the change immediately. See, the divine is always there. We don't experience the divine because we are caught up in our own outer ego all the time. We are busy with our little lives all the time. So being in the outer, being caught up in the outer ego and imagining things will not help. All we need to do is to open our entire being to the divine. Knowing fully well that you belong to the divine. And lay open all the layers of the being. Even the most mundane, the most shameful, the most banal. Don't hide anything. Open open every element of your being. Especially the one with the most problem, the darkness. All your mental doubts, all the second-hand knowledge which you are so proud of. The skepticism, the doubts, the pride, the entire mind space. Let there be just light and the present. Your entire heart. All the motives which do not come from the divine. All the selfish desires. anything which is like a cloud, a patch of darkness. The boundaries start dissolving. And experience the action of the force in your being. Gentle, anything you don't need, anything which is uncouth, which is dark, bring it to this conscious. I sincerely believe that each one of you would have surely experienced the action of this force, this consciousness within you. You must realize that this presence, this power, this force, the divinity is always there within you. But in the beginning, it surely needs an effort to move away from the outer to the inner. An effort to open your being. An effort to disengage from your surface ego. An effort to move away from the constant chattering of the surface mind. But once you are away from the ego, then the struggle becomes much lesser. So it would be of great benefit to each one if you were to express what you are experiencing within you. Express in a way that the action of the force becomes even more beautiful, more tangible within you and in everyone else. Because as you will experience, we are all connected in many ways. Even though physically we are in all different parts of the world, but everyone would have experienced this at this moment. Everyone who is open and receptive would have experienced this action. So without disturbing the inner action, please share honestly, without fear, without doubt, all that you are feeling and experiencing inside you. You may switch on your camera, switch on your mic. And just learn to express vibrations of a higher order. Anna Montana.
Yes, feel a lot of light, and vastness, and a power that is so gentle and so involving and expanding at the same time. Love and gratitude and joy.
Beautiful. It's all within you, Anna. Just allow the divine to work inside you. Miss Srivali.
Right now, I feel very quiet. Whole being seems so quiet. It's kind of difficult to even speak. Say. It's the feeling I got from the session. But I have a question. I want to understand the energy blocks that you feel in the body. And sometimes
Don't try to understand when you are experiencing. During the experience, just offer all the blocks, the mental blocks, the vital blocks, the subconscious blocks. Just offer. Understanding comes years and years later when the mind becomes capable of understanding these things. Because the instrument of understanding, the present rational mind, is not evolved enough to understand these forces. So it's not necessary to enter into that. The action is important, the work is important. Understanding will happen slowly when the mind is also transformed.
so we offer whatever, wherever we feel the block or something, just open and offer.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Complete trust you offer.
Thank you.
Shashwat Bhattacharya. May I request others to keep your videos on? Chetna, Parvinder, Sanjeev, Joshi, Chitra, Kalpana. Yes, Shashwat. Miss Kalpana, would you like to? Yeah. Miss Maha?
I don't know if I can express my experience, but I always heard that about the oneness, and I can realize it like mentally, but rarely experience it in like deep experience, the real experience. But since the beginning of this session today, all of a sudden I was that vastness, and I realized that everything is happening. What I consider outside is happening within. Anything that we will realize, anything exists in this universe. The only place we will realize it is inside. And this is the oneness I feel. This is the vastness. This is the pure consciousness. And it was not only a glimpse. I stayed in this consciousness till now, and it's uplifting. It illuminates everything around and accepts it, and it's beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful. Absolutely true. Ms. Josie, would you like to share? Mr. Anil Grover?
Well, I would just say experiencing an inner presence and silence. Thank you.
Good. Mr. Sanjeev? Need to unmute yourself. Okay, till the time. Ms. Sashwati, would you like to speak now?
I'm feeling a lot of gratitude and actually may not be some I can't explain here what I'm feeling is totally different.
Thank you. Abhiram Sundari?
Namaste. So I'm traveling in the train, but I could hear bits and pieces, but I could not attend the entire session since I was traveling. While experiencing negative force, try to again take us to
Yeah, Mr. Abhiram Sundari, would you like to speak?
These programs are only orientation programs for me, so I don't have much to say. I'm not here for purifying myself. It's too big a word for me. I'm just trying to orient myself, that's all. And I'm able to do it. I'm getting oriented every day at this time of the day. 5:30 to 7. Just orienting myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Srivali, would you like to share? No?
I shared with
Okay. Yes. Yes, Josie, would you like to say?
I felt a vastness within and a very strong force, and I felt Sri Aurobindo behind me. And it was a great experience. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you very much for helping create this beautiful session, for being a part of it and experiencing the oneness which is there. Thanks a lot. I'll hand over to James.
Yeah, thank you, Yogesh. Very profound and intense session for everyone here. And see you all again tomorrow for the next session, which I believe is going to be conducted by Jishnu. So until then, bye everyone, and namaste to you all. Keep the connection always, yes? That's the best way. Mother's blessings to you all. Bye everyone. Bye.